Welcome back, and to the epic battles and the clash between Aang from Avatar and Thor from the MCU. Before we dive into the analysis, I just want to say that I am very grateful to you. Aang in his role as the Avatar is not merely an elemental bender, but a living embodiment of power and wisdom and harmony. Airbending in his hands turns the sky into a fluid battlefield, from wind spears that shoot forward like artillery shells to massive tornadoes capable of sweeping away entire towns. Aang firebending is both destructive and highly controlled, as he can incinerate any obstacle or raise blazing barriers strong enough to neutralize ferocious attacks. With earthbending, he clothes himself in solid armor, transforms the ground into a weapon, and reshapes the entire battlefield terrain. Waterbending opens limitless possibilities, from supple streams of water that bind opponents to towering waves that both strike and shield. Every element bends to his will and imagination, creating a combat style rich in creativity and depth. Aang is not only a warrior, but also a symbol of balance for the world. In the Avatar state, he connects with the memories of countless past lives to choose the right course of action. His power surges, yet his mind remains clear and compassionate. He uses air to save people from rubble, water to heal earth, to rebuild homes, and fire to light the way through darkness. Every decision carries moral weight. When war erupts, Aang does not seek destruction, but a path to end hatred. When Aang enters the Avatar state, his power transcends all familiar limits. Mastery over the elements is no longer separate streams, but merges into a single perfect whole. In that moment, the four elements unite in one decisive strike, carrying the will of balance and order. More importantly, Aang possesses the ability to touch the very core of an opponent life force and directly remove their bending by severing it from living energy. He chose this path with Fire Lord Ozai, not to destroy but to end violence. Later, he continued to use this power against Yakon, the bloodbender who spread fear across an entire city. Aang achievements do not stop at individual confrontations. He once lifted the entire town of Yudao off the ground to prevent war between local inhabitants and two rival superpowers. The scale of Aang power is often compared with legendary avatars such as Wan, who directly confronted Vatu, the spirit of chaos and darkness. Through this, it becomes clear that Aang not only inherits, but also carries forward the ancient legacy of the Avatar. In the Avatar state, he still retains compassion and self-control. The greater the power, the heavier the responsibility. Aang understands that true victory does not lie in defeating an enemy, but in healing the world. The four elements in his hands are not merely weapons, but the voice of nature guiding humanity back to its inherent harmony. Vatu exists as the perfect counterbalance to Rava, the spirit of light and peace. When these two primordial entities collide, their power is enough to shake the entire world. Darkness can blanket the land, weather can shift on a global scale, and the natural order can be bent. This is not the power of a single region, but one that spreads from nation to continent, demonstrating planetary-level reach and influence. This authority is shown to surpass even Tui and La, the entities representing the moon and the tides, the spirits who maintain the eternal dance of push and pull that governs the breadth of the oceans. Aang power is placed within that same current when extended to the legendary avatars. Kyoshi once created an island by separating a vast landmass from the Earth Kingdom, permanently altering the world map. Seto bent the lava of three massive volcanoes to prevent an extinction-level catastrophe. Aang stands within that legacy, no less formidable. What makes Aang a truly daunting force is not only the scale of his power, but how he harmonizes with it. In the face of chaos, he does not choose destruction but balance. Before darkness, he does not impose light, but restores the natural order. In a world where spirits can shake the planet, Aang remains a guiding figure. He stands between light and darkness as a living anchor, reminding all that the greatest power always walks alongside the responsibility to preserve eternal harmony. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, and turn on notifications to watch the earliest videos. Thank you very much. Thor Odinson is the ancient power of Asgard, a god who has existed for more than 1,500 years and is recognized as a rare combat genius. Through countless battles, Thor has not only grown stronger, but has also tempered the will of a future king. In the MCU universe, he possesses feats that leave both allies and enemies in awe. There was a moment when Thor stood firm against the combined energy of all 6 Infinity Stones, a power capable of bending reality. He once damaged the Rainbow Bridge, a structure capable of channeling the Bifrost, an energy source known for its world-destroying potential over time. At Nidavellir, Thor moved a colossal ring said to weigh as much as a small moon, simply to restart the process of igniting a star. He opened the Iris Gate and allowed his bare body to endure the full power of a neutron star for an extended period until he collapsed and was saved only by Stormbreaker. These moments are not merely proof of divine physique, but also of a spirit willing to sacrifice. Thor Odinson stands as a figure of mythic scale through his achievements. He once destroyed the physical manifestation of the ether, an ancient form of existence tied to the power of darkness, even though it was later reconstituted. Thor rose to confront Curse and Malekith, those who conspired to drag the entire universe back into a primordial age of shadow. In a deadly battle with Hela, the goddess of death, he survived against an opponent who once conquered the 9 realms alongside Odin, and who crushed Mjolnir with ease in her bare hand. Thor also directly faced Surtur, the one who ended Hela, and destroyed Asgard with a single colossal sword strike. Thor can summon the Bifrost, a stream of energy capable of erasing an entire planet over time, as clearly demonstrated by the fate of Jotunheim. In Sokovia, he and Iron Man unleashed an attack from Mjolnir powerful enough to obliterate an entire collapsing nation, a scenario that could have led to global extinction. At times, Thor has called down lightning that enveloped an entire moon, shattering its surface and creating shockwaves visible along the curvature of the celestial body. Thor understands that every swing of lightning carries the weight of countless worlds. This maturity transformed him from a warrior into a symbol of unyielding will and noble sacrifice. Thor Odinson, with a single strike, destroyed most of Jotunheim, a planet proven to be far larger than Earth. Soon after, that frozen world began to collapse as an inevitable consequence of irresistible power. In another moment, Thor struck Zeus with the very weapon of the Olympian god, the ruler of omnipotent city, where gods considered among the wisest and most powerful gather. That was not merely a blow, but a declaration of status. Thor has repeatedly confronted rampaging giants, overpowering them and inflicting severe injuries, demonstrating extraordinary endurance. He has even resisted the pull of the Bifrost, something long considered impossible due to its molecular manipulation and immense velocity. At the peak of his trials, Thor walked through Malekith Aetherstorm, a tempest believed to be dragging the entire universe back into primordial darkness. Thor is not only power, but the will to move forward through chaos. Each time he rises, he carries lessons of responsibility and choice. The thunder in his hands is not only for destruction, but for protecting what is fragile. Through loss and hardship, Thor gradually becomes a spiritual pillar for his allies. When the gods compete for dominance, he chooses action. When darkness rises, he chooses to face it. It is this steadfast resolve that makes Thor Odinson not merely a god of war, but a symbol of enduring hope in a turbulent universe. The confrontation begins from a misunderstanding when both sense an opposing energy spreading through space. There is no explanation or warning, and their combat instincts rise almost simultaneously. Aang reacts first, using airbending to create a safe distance, constantly shifting position to probe and control the pace of the fight. His movements are light yet precise, clearly reflecting the philosophy of balance and defense that he always follows. Thor does not choose to wait. Thunder roars like a declaration of war as the god of thunder calls down a preemptive strike. Lightning crashes from the sky with overwhelming force to test his opponent's defenses. In that very moment, the elements collide violently. Whirling winds, thunder, and surging energy pressure warp the sky, bend the light, and shake the ground as if it can no longer endure the conflict unfolding. Under mounting pressure, Aang is forced to enter the Avatar state. When this state is activated, the 4 elements merge into a colossal destructive vortex, sweeping away everything in its path. This is not merely raw power, but the resonance of will, memory, and responsibility. Thor is pushed back for the first time, sensing a power that does not belong to the gods and surpasses his familiar framework. Heaven and earth tremble more violently, space itself tears under the pressure of 2 forces colliding head-on. Realizing he can no longer maintain a probing stance, Thor releases his full power. Celestial thunder descends without pause, each strike carrying ancient fury. As the distance closes, Thor's physical superiority becomes clear. His heavy, close-range blows shatter the elemental defenses. Thor accepts the trade-off, holding nothing back and abandoning any thought of retreat. All limits are cast aside in exchange for a chance to end the battle. In the decisive moment, Aang attempts to seal Thor's power with spiritual energy, seeking to restore order and balance rather than destroy. However, Thor breaks through that barrier with iron will, surpasses his own limits, and delivers the final blow. The last instant reveals the fundamental difference between the 2 paths. One represents balance and restraint, the other embodies destruction and decisiveness. When the storm of energy fades, only one remains standing. Thor is the victor. What do you think about this battle? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you all very much.